Welcome, and today we're going to do Chapter 9, Lesson 1, which is about rounding fractions. You can see I've already set it up a little bit because I have to draw a number line for the first example. So it says that we can use benchmark fractions such as 1/2 to round a fraction to 0 1/2 or 1 whole. So we're going to be rounding to 0 1/2 or 1 whole when we look at these fractions. And so we want to look at how close is the fraction to each of these things. So example 1 on page 613 says a poison dart frog is 2 inches long. This is 2/12 of a foot. So we're looking at 2/12 of a foot. Is it closer to 0 1/2 or 1 whole? And I drew the number line here so that we could tell what it is closer to. So 2/12, I already divided. I made a number line from 0 to 1 because that is a proper fraction, which means it's less than 1. It's between the whole numbers of 0 and 1. And I divided my number line into 12 sections because my denominator is 12ths. So if I count, I go 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7/12, 8/12, 9/12, 10/12, 11/12, and 12/12. So that is my number line. So 2/12, right here we would have 1/12. Right here would be 2/12. And so now I can look at, is it closer to 0 1/2 or 1 whole? And 2/12 would definitely round to 0. Right, it is definitely closer to 0 than it is to 1/2 or than it is to 1 whole. Without the number line, I can think about, I have to know what half of the denominator is. And so if I know what half of the denominator, so we're going to put here, think what is half of the denominator, and if the fraction is very close to half of the denominator, then it would round to 1/2. If it is, so I'm going to think what is half of the denominator and then decide from there. If this was 5/12, 6/12, 7/12, I would round this definitely to 1/2, maybe even 4/12 and 7/12 or 8/12. So I would round it to 1/2 if it was falling in kind of these areas, right? These areas would round to 1/2. From here over, I would round to 0. And from here over, I would round to 1. This is with the denominator of 12, right? But we don't always have the denominator of 12, so we have to think in our head, okay, what is half of the denominator? In this case, this was 6/12, and then decide from there. So I'm looking at the numerator. 2/12. 2 is very close to 0 in comparison to being 6 or 11/12. So that's where I would how I would think about this problem. Example 2 on page 614 wants us to round 4/9 to 0 1/2 or 1 whole. So I have to think about, okay, what is half of 9? Okay, so I would think to myself, what is half of 9? Okay, so that's my first thought. What is half of 9? So 9's an odd number, which means it's a little bit harder to determine what half of it is, but half of 9 is 4 and 1/2, right? So 4 and 1/2 is the halfway mark. So 4/9 is very close to 4 1/2 ninths, right? The 4 in my numerator is very close to 4 1/2. So this would round to 1/2. This would round to 1/2. Okay, if I want to look at it on the number line, 4/9 is a proper fraction. There's no whole number next to it, which means this is between 0 and, and 1. And I need to divide it into 9 sections because my denominator is 9. So let's say like that's about 4/9 and 5/9. So I need to do 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I try my very best to make these equal, right? Fractions are in equal sections, but it's pretty much impossible. So I have 1/9, 2/9, 3/9, 4/9, 5/9, 6/9, 7/9, 8/9, 9/9. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's here, and you can see that it's about halfway, right? Halfway would be kind of right there in the middle between 4 and 5. So that is very much rounding to the 1/2. So I'm always looking at the denominator and thinking, what is half of that number? And then how close is my numerator to that halfway point? Okay, so this would be my answer here, right? And up here, my answer was that 2/12 rounds to 0. Okay, have a great day.